Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Davis and you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture. And yes, I am hard to kill. And before I introduce my guests, I do want to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by Pocket Jack Comics, who have books like Palace of the Golden Princess and White Lily. And there is some D&D in those books. I am not going to tell you what type of D&D is in that book because I will just give everybody a hint. It is both. It is both. I just want to make that crystal clear. And they're excellent, beautiful, great books, drawn beautifully, and it will hit your niche if you like to roll dice or the other D&D. It's completely up to you. But enough about that, because I have with me board game designer and comic writer Jay Mooers. So welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Andrew.
Yeah, no, it's been a hot minute. To say the least. But you got a lot going on. Obviously, you got a campaign for, I think it's Faye Courts.
Yes.
Which, I think I got the name right. So hopefully I got the name right.
Yeah, you get a gold star. I'm keeping score for you over here. All right, you get one gold star so far. Good. You get 5. You can trade them in for a cookie. So, you're on your
way. or 3 strikes you're out at the old ball game. Depending on how you want to play this entire thing. But anyway, all jokes aside, obviously that is on Kickstarter right now. And we are going to talk about that a lot. But before we get into that, I figured I would allow you to introduce who you are because you have a relatively big resume and a lot of things you've done.
Yeah. So, hi everybody, Jay Mooers. I've been in the comic / now game industry for about 20 years now. I've worked for companies like Dynamite Entertainment on things like Red Sonja, Vampirella, Chaos. I've worked on Fallout for Bethesda. Recently I worked on Transformers for an anniversary edition. I've worked for a lot of different companies, and they come and they go, and I nab them when I can, and I do commission work for them. I also have been self-publishing for about the same amount of time. I have a couple novels that I started with, and then I fell into the world of independent comics. I launched my comic series Autumn Gray around the same time I started picking up commission work, doing work for other people's comic series. I started doing cover work for some of them. I even did a cover for King Kong, which was an exciting moment for me. And eventually I started getting the itch to game. I hadn't played RPGs or anything since college, and that was many years ago. So it's been a little while. Let's just say 2nd edition D&D was still pretty new when I was playing D&D. So I got the itch, and I had created this world for my comic series, and I thought to myself, this world would be great to play a game in. So I created a TTRPG. And for those that don't know that are listening, that's a tabletop role-play game, which is basically like Dungeons and Dragons, the one version of D&D that he was talking about just a little bit ago. In the game Fae, you play fairies and monsters hiding in the modern day human world. So you technically don't exist, and you're trying to get away with doing stuff without being discovered. But the game took off. It did great. It was on Kickstarter 5 years ago now. There's expansions for it. There are.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Sorry to interrupt, but let's talk.
No problem.
Because obviously you have a comic book that kind of introduced it in a little bit, but then you create this board game and this tabletop. I mean, I use them interchangeably. Hopefully nobody's going to get too upset.
It's a table game. It's a in-person table game.
Yeah. So we'll call it a tabletop game then.
Yeah.
So then you build that out, and then it takes off. And then from there, I mean, obviously, what is that like? Because at this point, and I don't know, I mean, I'm a little bit of a tabletopper. I'm not a huge fan of tabletop games. I'm not anti-tabletop. I know Catan, Shadows of Camelot. I know Kings of Tokyo. I know that game. But it's just tricky to keep up with everything.
There's a
lot. And then I just played this game where it's like you're collecting like food, and like you got like it's dim sum. It was great. Fun game. Like it was like at Barnes & Noble, they were running an exclusive for like bonus content during the holidays. It was awesome. Good $50 I spent. Good $50 I spent. A lot of fun. free like 2 free cards or whatever it was. I forget exactly what it was. That'd been like a whole nother like expansion set that they threw in for free. But anyway,
Very
so
cool.
what is that like? Because when you create a game, you don't know how it's going to be received.
Correct. Yeah. Like I said, I came from a comic background, and I was very much not known at all in the gaming scene. And I took out, I put together the RPG and I put it on Kickstarter. And apparently, the right people saw it because it fit a niche that people were longing for, and some people had demoed it at a convention, shared it with their forum friends, and I got this huge influx of people pledging and ordering the game, and it flew right past. I think I finished at 500% funded, something like that. So suddenly I had to order large quantities of books I was not really prepared for, which is a good thing to have to do. I had done the numbers correctly, so I wasn't. I know a lot of times when Kickstarters get huge, people go bankrupt trying to fulfill them. But I had done the numbers correctly, and I was able to place all my orders and not have to sell the house or anything like that. So that was a good thing. It did great. I shipped it out to everybody. Next milestone was people wanted more, so I created my first expansion for the game. That was 2 years ago. And every year I make another stack of adventures for the game so people can purchase the adventures. They're like one-shot adventures with pre-made characters.
Let's talk about that, because
Yes.
obviously you build, at least the way I view it is, you build a core and then you build parts and pieces.
Yep.
To expand. And so what is that like? Because obviously people want, because it keeps the game relevant in certain aspects.
Right. There are people that play it, and you got to give them something fresh every once in a while to keep it good. Like a video games are the same way. Like you add, like we have the new content for it. We're going to release it, and boom, suddenly it like resurges the interest with everybody that's been playing it. But it's similar. You have to keep producing new things for it. Like I said, every year I'm producing new adventures that people can play. And I know I'm due for another expansion, but I guess this Kickstarter I'm on right now would be a pretty significant expansion. It's a whole new game. So Faye took off, and I got to the point where I needed to actually get other people involved. Like when you sell a indie comic, you sell the comic, and that's it. Like somebody gets the comic, they take it home. It's simple. With a game, you got different groups that want to play it. You need to like do demos of the game with different people, different places. Other people want to run the game, so suddenly you're helping them put together their games of your game, and it just starts to fan out and spread from there. Some particular highlights. Last year, I ran into a cosplayer dressed as one of my characters. Nobody I knew. They didn't even know I was going to be there. They just happened to be walking by my table, and their friend pointed at my book and goes, "Oh my God, that's your character right there on that book." And she turned around and yep, she plays the game, and she spent months making a costume for the character on the cover of the book. It was an awesome moment. I basically went around my table and like, "What don't you have?" And I just like put them all in a bag, and I gave her the bag full of things. I'm like,
So let's actually talk about this campaign, because obviously it is a different game in certain aspects.
Yep.
Where this is something that is, the way I read the Kickstarter, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's not any expansion, and it's almost like, I don't even know if there's a major story around the game. It's kind of like just scrimmaging between characters. And
I'm going to put another star down for you over here. Okay. Yep. You're at 2 now. So yeah, Fey Courts is the name of the new game. It's a miniature skirmish game. Essentially, it is warfare on a table. You make your own troop of monsters. You pick out their abilities and all that kind of stuff. And you can play just good old fight each other. You can also play lots of other kinds of missions like Capture the Mortals, where there are essentially people on the board that are actively running away from you, and you have to like trick them into like chase them into your ambush to catch them and bring them back and stuff like that. So there's a lot of other types of things you can do. It is initially set up as just random skirmishes, like there isn't a real story to it. Basically, there's a set of cards, and they're called the scenario cards. And very simply, you shuffle them up, you pull them out, boom, that's what you're playing. So suddenly, like, all right, that's what we're dealing with. Whether we're dealing with each other, whether we're trying to work together to do something, or whether like we're both trying to win doing something and try to screw up the other player from trying to do the same thing. So there's a lot of different options.
So let's talk about this because it's very different than the others. And I
Yes.
don't think there's a bridge to connect them, for lack of a better word here, in which that it's going to be hard to integrate what has been done in the past. And it doesn't mean that the Fae game that you did in the past is done, because you're going to eventually do an expansion for that.
Yes.
But what is that like to kind of take, hey, we have some of these same characters, some of these same concepts, some of these same monsters, but let's just come up with a new concept, but still a familiarity. Because I don't know how to explain it. It's a weird thing to explain, but it happens all the time. It's kind of like if you take a Marvel game and you have, Marvel characters in one app, and then you have them doing a different game on a different app, but they're still the same characters.
Right.
It's a different gameplay style.
Right. So, if you play the game Fae and then you switch over to Fae Courts, you'll realize the dice rolling uses the same mechanics. So if you're familiar with one, you step in the other one, you're already halfway there. They're both games are designed to be easy to just learn. Basically, if you have enough smarts to figure out how to play Monopoly, you can play Fae Courts easily. Like you can sit down and in 5 minutes know how to play. It's one of those games where you can sit down and just start playing, and as you can play it multiple times, and as you play, you begin to realize new strategies. Like you start with just the basic, I'm going to come after you, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to shoot some arrows, and then you start unlocking the fact that there's so much more you can do with it. And it starts to like, you start looking back at the way you played before, and you think to yourself, how the heck did I win before? Like, it makes no sense. Like, you get better as a player. You know what I mean?
I find this interesting, right? Because again, at this point in this is that it is very much a skirmish type war game, and then you have those cards that randomly assign what you're going to do.
Yep.
And it's that either you gotta, as you stated, capture a Marvel or ambush something into your position. I don't know if there's like a kill count that you have to get.
Sometimes there's a whole bunch of, like, I like variety. Like, there's a lot of miniature games where you simply fight each other, and whoever kills the most wins. And it's like, all right, that's good, like a couple times, but then you're like, well, let's try doing some different stuff. So I wanted to come up with a lot of different kinds of things you can do.
Yeah, because one of the things that I have, and I don't know, it goes to video games too, is that I hate buying a game in anything, and it really has 2, 3, 4 outcomes.
Yeah.
And it kills me. It kills me. Because if I'm dropping $50, $60, $70,
you want to play it a lot. Yeah.
Unless, I don't have a problem. So I just finished Kingdom Hearts 3. Big game, took me like 80 hours, had a blast. But there's really only one outcome in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right.
But I felt for $60, if it gave me 80 hours of entertainment, it's a good trade.
Yeah, it's way cheaper than watching movies for that long.
It depends. If you're watching Netflix,
you're paying for Netflix, but
but all jokes aside, but I don't have a problem in that sense. But I do have a problem when it's like, I haven't bought a game in a while where it's like, okay, the outcome is going to be the same every single time. Minus something like Catan or Shadows over Camelot,
right?
Where there's only 2 outcomes in Shadows over Camelot. The outcome is either the bad guy wins or the knights win. But how that occurs can change.
Yep. So
but
I was going to say, it's funny you're bringing this up because it's not part of the. It's one of my first stretch goals in my game is I'm introducing a narrative series of adventures, and the way it works is one player is player A and the other player is player B, and you play the first mission. There's a story with what's going on, And then depending which one wins that mission, like a choose your own adventure book, if player A wins, then you go to adventure 2. If player B wins, then you go to adventure 4. And basically, so the story, like, so you can actually play a story, and it always changes depending on who wins which round. It will take a different path. You know what I mean? And it's basically they're designed to like each session of the game takes about an hour usually. So in an afternoon, you could play 4 in a row and tell an entire story between your characters and your opponent's characters, and then sit down again next time, take out the book, and as long as one of you changes like how they won, you're on a different path in the book, and you can tell another story.
So let's actually talk about that too, because one of the things is that I don't know how. I mean, look, if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, the point of that is that the story can go on forever.
Yes,
and it's meant to go on forever.
Yes,
You know, you're just going on mission after mission on mission on mission on mission.
Unless your game master has like a specific story and it has an end to it, and that's what you're going for. Yes.
I mean, look, there's the famous episode in Big Bang where they're doing the holiday one, and I love it. And Wallowitz is like doing Santa. Oh, it's brilliant because it's amazing when they do that. And this Christopher Walken's it's one of the funniest episodes ever. But
that's a good one. Yep.
But I think that there is a point where it's like, look, I want to play a game with my friends, and we're just drinking, we're having a beer, and we know the Catan game is going to take an hour and a half at the most.
Yep.
But like, I don't want to hang out with my friends and have a 9-hour D&D outing.
Right.
It's just not for me, right?
Yep.
There gets a point where I want to start a finish and I want to move on to the next game.
That's why when I designed this, I felt like an hour is a comfortable amount of time. So if you want to play all day, you can play them in a series, or you can just grab the cards. We're playing one adventure right here. We'll be done in an hour.
Because I don't know if you've ever been at a bar where they've had board games and tabletop games.
I have. Yep.
It's like I was at a bar when I used to live in DC, and so on Thursday night, it's like everybody gets their drink, and people are playing like Scrabble, or they're playing like Uno, or they're just hanging out.
They usually have like a big old shelf, and you go grab one and bring it to the table, right?
Yeah, it's great, yep. Right? Yep. But like, nobody wants to play Risk.
Why not? Come on.
But like, the point is that like 20-minute games are the best because they allow for socialization, or even an hour game allows for socialization, and then somebody could grab a beer or, sit out around.
You can casually just go play a game and still have stuff you can do that night. Like you don't say, all right, we're going to stop everything else we're doing and play this game. Like, you can do it and then get to the next thing in your evening. Like, we have an hour to kill. Let's play a game before we go walk down to the movie theater down the street, or before we go to the show, or before we go to the concert, or what have you. Like I think, like I said, I personally feel like an hour is easy enough to convince somebody to play a game.
Do you feel, because I look at a bunch of games, right? And do you feel that some games miss that concept? Because I like games that are like 20 minutes, right? Yeah. So I like 20-minute rounds for the reason that, great, it's easy, it's low commitment, and in 20 minutes we're on to the next game or the next thing.
Right.
And so, I mean, because I look at certain games and some of them are like, this could take 6 hours. I mean, and games could take 45 minutes.
So the longer games, like if you plan it, like your friends, like, we are going to play this game on Saturday. Everyone come over, we'll eat lunch, and we are playing this all afternoon. Like, if you know that's what you're going to do, then you're fine. But you have to plan for something like that, because it's a commitment. I have a couple of games. I have one game that I haven't played it yet, but it estimates at about 13 hours, 11 to 13 hours. And I'm like, I want to play it because it's a deep story, and you unlock it as you go through the game. But I know that we'd have to have breakfast, like have a group of people over, and like, today we're all getting together just to play this game. That's what we're doing today, and you have to plan a day for it. 20-minute games are awesome because you can just be like, all right, we're going to sit down, we're just going to jump right into this. Actually, in this game, you use a 3-foot by 3-foot square as the playing field. But I do say that if you want to make a quicker game, shrink it down to 2 feet by 2 feet, and you're in each other's faces that much faster. So you can basically make it a 30-minute, maybe 40-minute game by just closing the box in on everybody a little bit.
I find this interesting, right? Because again, I mean, look, I like to play casual games, and I like to play games that are easy to pick up and that don't require massive commitment. Because if me and my friends are all coming over and we're gonna play Catan or Shadows over Camelot, we want to play for like 90 minutes, right?
Yep.
And the point is that we're all telling stories while we're doing it, right?
Yeah, you're doing other stuff. You're not just focused on the game. Yep. You're socializing. It's a social game.
Because that's what I think, and this is my problem with comics, and I'm curious how you feel, is that everybody is trying to create the next greatest thing. And I don't need another Spider-Man. I need the exact opposite of another Spider-Man. I need something that is going to get me out of the way and entertain me. And I'm not interested in your tragedy Maricopa moment of of giving me the great American novel and the greatest thing written ever. And I'm not looking for you to win a Pulitzer Prize or whatever that is in tabletop games, that award. I'm looking for.
It'd be nice if someone wanted to give me one. I would definitely appreciate it. But yeah.
But because I think that's the problem.
It's about having fun.
But that's my problem, is that I think everybody has forgotten that it's supposed to be fun, right? I mean, I picked up a game. I'm not going to name the game. It was a big property game. The game wasn't fun. It was horrible. I mean, I'm happy I got it. It's a fun game to have. I'm not going to mention what it is. It's one of my favorite, licensed properties of all time. But like, the game wasn't fun. The game was quite boring.
I found a lot of like games based on like franchises that I already love usually get kind of disappointing.
It was a bad game. I mean, I'm happy that I bought it because it's obviously if I
collect it. It's more having it for your collection than it is having it to play, kind of thing. Right?
I mean, I could sell the game for double what I paid.
There you go.
But I don't want to because I liked it.
There you go. So I tried very hard with. Have you ever played something like Warhammer or anything like that?
I've never played Warhammer. I bought the models and painted them because they're a lot of fun to do that. But I've never played Warhammer.
You are aware of like how vast and all-encompassing the rules are for that game, right?
Oh, it's insane. I tried.
Yes.
Tried. It was
so one thing I wanted with my miniature game is that you can sit right down and be like, okay, here's your character sheet. This number does that number does that number does that. Let's go. And you can just start playing. And there's ridiculous stuff in this game. One of my favorite mechanics in the game is if you are a bigger model than someone else, you can throw them. So you can, if there's a gap or a wall, you can possibly throw them over the wall. If you need to get them to the other side, you can alley-oop your own guys over there, or you can chuck somebody you don't like into a pit. There's all that kind of stuff, which is like, it's fun. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. The lore, you're a group of monsters. Like you can play things that just want to eat the other monsters. You can play things that, you can have as much fun with it as you want as far as like what you're playing. You could take your Monopoly pieces. You could make an army of thimbles, the thimble pieces from Monopoly, maybe with the dog as the leader, and just go. Like you can play with those. It's designed that you can grab silverware and put them on the table and be the silverware. With, of course, Lord Spork will be your grandmaster.
So obviously, I mean, what is this like though? Because again, I mean, it almost seems like you have a basic game, and then you could add whatever skin you want to put on it.
Yes, yep, that is, and all the characters are easily customizable. So you get to design all the
crazy.
Like sometimes, like when we were doing an impromptu, we were doing playtesting, and it's like, we need to make some troops. We're going to be playing in about 5 minutes on a live stream as a sample. All right, so in 5 minutes, I was able to bang out an army. Like I just kind of like sat right down, like this is how I make this one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Done. Let's go. I mean, and of course, as you get deeper into strategies, you start like fine tuning what powers you want to give your characters and stuff. But the whole thing is designed to be so easy to just pick up and go with.
So I mean, there's a lot to break down, but obviously it's skinned initially with the face stuff to some degree, all
Yes,
those
and the
monsters.
powers are things like elemental powers. One of the things that's different between this game and other miniature games is that the terrain, like in most games, you're just kind of working around the terrain. It's there and it's obstacles. But in this one, you can change the terrain with your characters. Like this wall is going to be made of fire now. Like if you're fire based, you can basically like turn a whole wall into fire, and then throwing gets really fun when you start chucking characters into the wall of fire. Like, oh, you won't go touch it yourself? I'll help you.
It's crazy. Again, it seems like you just skin the whole game and do whatever you want with it over it. And I mean, but obviously, as I stated, skin with the face stuff, which makes sense because that's your baby. I mean,
Yep.
initially,
Yep. That's the oh, that's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the trademark. It's
it's the hook for the marketing to some
right,
degree.
right.
And it's the initial, I guess, base.
Like when you're playing the game and you're being chaotic, you look over the hill and you see, a couple trolls coming along with a squad of goblins and a bunch of snarling dogs and things. And you're like, what the heck is this? I'm like, it's my army. Here we come. Ah!
So obviously, I mean, I think the game itself kind of explains it, but I am curious because I do want to talk about the other stuff with the game,
Mhm.
and I think this is the stuff that interests me more because I'm way more interested in business and the
Okay.
economics behind everything and how to manage that. Because obviously, you've done something interesting, I think, where you could just buy this whole thing digitally. So you could
Yes.
buy just the digital rule book,
Yep.
figure out how you want to print out everything. You could buy it with, I think it's STL files as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
So
Buy
we
all
could
the menus and STLs. So essentially, you can buy everything for this game if you buy it all digital. I believe buying everything digitally, it's $40, and that gets you all the models, all the rules, and that's really and you don't even need the models. You can buy just the rule book for $15 on the Kickstarter.
because this is why I think this is interesting, right? Obviously, a lot is changing in the entire printing world. I don't think
Yep.
that's tabling tariffs for 2 seconds here. My mom published a book by a major publisher, and printing changed in the last, and she did it about 5 years ago. And in those 5 years, all this has changed: how
Yep.
books are printed,
It has
how
changed a lot.
how
Yep.
comics are printed, AI. And I know
Mhm.
it's a dirty word. AI is changing the way print stuff happens,
Yep.
and
It's
production.
designing how people design games and do art and everything. Like it's
I
writing on
wasn't
my
even
nails with everything I do. I know.
I wasn't even talking about the designing. I was talking about efficiency.
Yep.
Just tabling before we even get to all the creative stuff. AI with printing is changing the way how books are printed because what they're figuring out how to do is that they're saying if we print pages 7 and 8 first, it might be cheaper over 100,000 copies printed than if we go in numerical order. It sounds bizarre when you say it that way.
It's how the books get put together too. So you print them in the order that you put the book together. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, it. I know a lot of people that it speeds up their productivity a lot.
So the reason why I bring this is that's also interesting. And then going into the tariffs is that shipping is a disaster. For those who don't know, 2 years ago I started selling a lot of cards on eBay. It was 64 cents. It's now 74 cents. It has gone up by almost, I mean, I don't know the math off the top of my head, but a 10 cents increase per one card being sold is a huge increase in 2.5 years. Now, there's still a lot of margin to be made. And you might say, oh, it's only 10 cents. When you're selling, 15 to 2,000 cards, it adds up real quick.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And shipping for comic books has gone up. And
Shipping
so,
shipping for everything has gone up. So one of the nice things that Kickstarter now does that they didn't do last time I did a Kickstarter is you can leave shipping costs off of the pledges, and you can calculate the shipping costs when you're getting ready to ship, and people will get billed for the shipping then. So because it's shifting so much that you can't rely on a number you got in September, by the time you ship next February, it might be completely different. So I'm very thankful that now you can just give a guesstimate. Like that, it asks you to give them like a range of what you think it's going to cost for shipping, and then they acknowledge that they will pay whatever the shipping cost is once it's ironed out at the end.
Because I think it's interesting that you're basically saying, hey, look, you could build this whole game digitally and print it out yourself. You don't
Yes.
have to deal with the shipping, and you don't have to deal with the whole production of it. Because I would imagine for you, it's a click of a button in an email or an encrypted Dropbox, whatever it is, and then you're golden, right?
Yep.
So it saves
It's
you
much
money.
easier for me. Yep.
It does. You don't have to print as much. You're getting the game out, and then let's say somebody says, I love this game and I want the high quality models printed on some good paper, good cardboard, or whatever they're made out of. At a later date they could probably pick up a printed copy of it if they wanted, but it's also a whole different ball game.
Yeah. So they're resin models.
But because I think that's interesting, right?
Yep.
Because it also goes to the point where, let's say somebody in Australia wants it. Well, to ship to Australia is a bitch.
It is, and I know a lot of. So when I did my fake Kickstarter, I had lots of international sales, and I learned the brutal reality of the prices are so different depending on which country you're sending to. Some countries are so expensive to ship to, and I did not compensate enough. I ended up losing money shipping books to them.
I sell on eBay, so eBay has an international.
You know exactly. Yeah.
So the way it works on eBay is that I just ship to Kentucky. They handle it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. But I know exactly how expensive it is. I sold the Mandy Rose card, so a Leaf Metal Mandy Rose card, out to somebody in Australia, and I knew exactly how much it cost him. It was like $35 to $40 for one card. Now it's an autograph card, and he was thrilled. But nonetheless, it was a bitch for him to get it. But he's like, nobody else is sending this out to Australia. And I said, dude, I got you, man. I've sent out an advent calendar to somebody, and those buyers, they're paying real money, and they're happy because people won't send international because it sucks on shipping.
Right.
And it's a pain in the ass, but I don't have a problem sending all over the world. I mean, but I do it through eBay. So I just ship to Kentucky, and then the buyer picks up the rest.
Yep. Which is great. And that's kind of the way I think it's working well with Kickstarter. Well, I have to do the legwork myself, but at least I don't have to commit to a number that then proves to be the wrong number. So when I first did Faye and I found out these prices were so erratic depending on where you're shipping to, when I released the first expansion, which is my next Kickstarter, I just kept it in the States. I decided it was just going to be in the United States because I didn't want to deal with the international shipping and trying to figure out all that and filling out the forms you have to fill out and the claims you have to do and everything that's in the package when you ship. There's a lot to it. So it was extra tough that it was 3 times as much work and it ended up costing me money to do it. So I'm definitely more careful about it now.
Because I find it interesting to do digital.
Yes, digital. You get a digital copy, and if you want to share it with all your friends, it's your digital copy. Go ahead. I mean, I know, like, I would prefer sales, but I also know that when people love a game, they will buy something. Even if they got the rule book for free, they play it for a little while, and they're like, "Man, I really like this. I'm going to go check out the actual game website."
So that's interesting, right? I mean, to a degree. So, I mean, I don't know how you feel, and it's slightly different. But on eBay, I was having a discussion with somebody, and I have sealed cards, and then there's open cards. And so I said to the guy, I said, "Look, if your budget is this, there's one right now out there. Here's the link. I would take the deal, even though it economically hurts me." What I have discovered is that if you direct people to the right area, at some point they will come back to you, or they will wait for their budget.
It's all like everything's linked through social media. So when you talk to somebody and treat them that way, they talk to people. It's like your presence online is more powerful than your choke a dollar out of somebody.
So I find it interesting. And again, I'm not really all that worried about, if this person doesn't buy a card for me. I'll just sit on it. I'm going to be fine in the long run.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean, I'll be a lot finer if my issue today gets resolved. But
Yes. I'll
that's
give you another star when today's over, and I'll resolve for you.
oh my gosh.
I think you're at a cookie. Congratulations.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Just I open up my fucking Apple Pay and for those who
Yeah.
don't know, somebody charged $3,000. And I had a fraudulent charge on my credit card. And let's just say that I jumped out of my chair rather high. Oh, very, very unnerving. But you're like, I don't think I spent that much money. Where the fuck did this come from? Very unnerving, everybody. And I know everybody's been there. But I digress. But I do want to get back to your campaign because you also have all of the physical stuff too, which I think is interesting.
Yep.
Because that's the other thing too, is that some people say, look, I love physical games and I want to play,
I do.
this
I like, and when you play the miniature games, like you don't need to have anything fancy, but I like making a rolling hill. If I wasn't playing games, I would have the train set in the basement, and I'd have the whole city, and oh yeah, that's Joe, the postal worker. He gets drunk at lunchtime, but he still does okay. Sometimes he's parked over here. I'd have the whole like town all like laid out with stories, but instead I make games where you do the same thing, except you get to play with other people. I think a big part of the gaming, like the reason I went to games for me, making comics is very lonely. Like you're alone, you're writing, you're drawing, you're writing, you're drawing, and you go to a convention, hand them to people, and off they go with it. But
it's
there's
interesting
a community in gaming. You're playing games with other people,
It's interesting you mentioned that. I was listening to I don't know if you know Dave Ramsey and Dr. John Deloney. And so this kid and his mother are having an issue where kid loves horror stuff and he
Mhm.
loves like Lord of the Rings and he loves Magic the Gathering. And his parents are very much a Christian kind of strict environment. And like his mom and him both called up and he said, like, I love playing Magic the Gathering. I love reading, C.S. Lewis. I love reading fantasy and I love playing Magic the Gathering because I'm with other people and we're playing a game. And
Right.
it's not that like the guy was saying I'm anti-Christ. That had nothing to do with it. He's like, I enjoy socializing and engaging and being involved and learning how horror is done and all that stuff. And I
Yeah.
think it's so interesting, right? It's like the reason why I like interviewing is that I'm speaking to another person, right? I don't
Yep.
have a problem doing and just shooting straight out content out of doing a show all by myself, but like that's not fun to me to do that. I want to talk to people, but I find it so interesting. So yeah, I mean but I think it's interesting how you have the physical stuff because I think that's also interesting because people love physical games as I was
Yes, they
stating.
do. Especially like in the world of miniatures. I mean, your 40K miniatures would be real boring if they were just digital files and you would click on the buttons to color them.
That's so interesting, and then also, you have different, levels of the physical stuff too. I think you have just the monsters. I think you have like
Yep.
what is it? The $100 is some stuff, and then I think it's the 120 is like the monsters and the rest of the stuff, and then there's like the 200 box, and then there's a $300 box, and all that.
Yeah. So if you want the quick tour, $100 is, well, first of all, you have the basic box of the physical stuff. You don't get the miniatures, but you get the rule book. You get the tokens. You get the cards I mentioned for the scenarios and stuff like that. That bundle is $40. That's the physical set. If you want just the monsters, you don't get the game. You just want the minis. There are people that just love to collect minis. So if you want the minis, it's $100. And then if you want the whole game with the minis, it's only $20 more. So it's $120. That's 16 models. So you know how expensive Warhammer can be. So $100 for 16 models is really reasonable in the grand scheme of miniatures. But 120 for the entire game with all 16 models. Then 150 includes additional models. It includes a set of dice. It includes rulers for the game, like Fey exclusive rulers, like a couple more like exclusive things that you can only get through the Kickstarter. So you actually get, instead of 16 models, you have 17 models. And then the big one, the $300 bundle, is the entire Fey RPG and the entire Fey court. So you get both games basically, and the expansions, and you basically get a big old heavy box full of all kinds of monster gaming for 2 different games.
So to even go further into that, I mean, how do you just figure out the price and all that? Because that's the other thing too that I think is interesting, is that because you obviously want to price it so that you're not losing money on it,
Right.
but it's also finding that sweet spot, right? And
Yes.
this is the problem, right?
It took me a while to learn that. In general, you don't want it to cost more than half of what you sell it for. Because for one instance, most if you're going to sell it retail to other shops and stuff, they typically buy at half retail value, so at least you break even. So like, at least in that kind of a situation, I'm not making money, but my game is going other places and other people are selling it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I'd rather other people discover the game and start playing the game.
It's tricky
Yeah.
because I feel on Kickstarter, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, is that I understand that I'm trying to help you kickstart a project.
Yes.
And so I'm willing to spend a little bit more money. What I don't like, and it's just my personal preference, and it's why I've backed off of Kickstarters, is that I am helping you fund it. And then I find out 3 months later, you go to a publisher and it's going to a comic shop and the book's $6. And I just kickstarted your book and helped you for 25.
So
And the rewards you gave me, the stretch goals you gave me, not really worth the difference in price.
yep.
And,
So
and it kills me, and it bothers me.
I agree. I've had the same thing happen to me. I made sure that everything that I sell on the Kickstarter is either the same price as it's going to retail at, or it's actually cheaper than it's going to retail at. I made sure, as far as my production goes, I know my prices. I've got my prices locked in on everything that I'm supplying. I've not. It's not my first. I've been self-publishing for 20 years, so I understand. And then like, people are like, well, why are you charging more than it costs to make it? I'm like, well, I still have to pay for my tables at conventions when I bring it there. I still have to, there's the 800 hours I spent making the game, that, like, there's time there. There's feeding the guys who are doing the play testing. There's just so much expense that I have to try to break even with. Basically, at the end of the day, my goal number is exactly what I need to break even.
I mean, look, I'll challenge it in which that I don't think when people factor in, oh, your table costs and all that, like, my whole position on that is very simple. It's that's what the con is for, is that you should be selling your whatever you're selling at your table. It should cut into that cost and it should be built into that side of the business.
Right. And it is. But
I'm not here to absorb your table.
No. You're not paying for my table for a convention by pledging on the Kickstarter. You are basically breaking even with my production of the game if we get to the goal. That's
because it's tricky, right? Because I think what people forget, and I've had this conversation, is that if you're writing a comic and you're the owner and the writer, you're not paying yourself.
correct.
Because you're an owner, right? So in my eBay business, I don't have a salary. I have a distribution.
Right.
So if I spend, for instance, I've sold stuff and it was up for 23 minutes, right? So I spent no time marketing it, and it was a quick flip sale, and it was from 300 to 1,000 in 23 minutes, right? I've also had stuff that's taken 18 months to sell. So my point is that it goes both
It
ways.
does. Yep.
And so, but I'm not expecting a buyer to cover the fees per se or the marketing or any of that. But what I do expect is that, well, it is if the item has a base cost and costs $70 for me to buy it, I'm not going to sell it to you for 50 because I gotta make a profit. And,
Yep.
and so, but like that's where I think people forget is that when you're the owner, but like this is where I feel the whole business thing gets all lost is that if you're the owner and the writer on your project, you have to figure out if you really want to figure out your numbers, what is your time worth if you were to go hire yourself? I know exactly what I would pay myself if I was doing this for somebody else's eBay channel.
Yep.
And I'm expensive. I'm expensive.
So the tricky thing, like with a game like this, so it's going to be on Kickstarter, and by succeeding at reaching the goal on Kickstarter, I break even on I have to pay my 3D artist, I have to pay for production, I have to order a minimum amount of things in order to get them printed. Like some things, it's like you have to order a minimum of 100 of this to get it at the price I need. So I have to order 100 of these things, but basically hitting that number doesn't pay me anything. But the game is now out there, and people are playing it, and that is the investment I'm making and hoping they come back for more. So with the tabletop game, I didn't make money with the Kickstarter. I did really well, and I was able to ship it out to everybody. But at the end of the day, I didn't make a dime off that Kickstarter. But I knew my game was all over the world, and there were people playing it. And then when they run into me at a convention or they order something off of my website, or suddenly that's where I start picking up the pieces of like the investment I have made into the game, and I'm starting to make some money back, basically.
It's funny. I make money off of my eBay store, but it has nothing to do with this. I get no business from this podcast to my eBay store. It's because my product on eBay and my products on eBay sell themselves.
Right.
And it's a very nice thing when products sell themselves on eBay, but it's also what I'm selling, where I'm selling limited edition items. So if there's only 15 of something in the world, there's only 15 people who have it.
Right.
So I'm not too concerned where the competition is so minimal.
Right.
Or when there's only 5 of a card, there's only 5 of the card. So again, I'm not too worried about the competition. But obviously, I mean, with this podcast, the idea is that you do an interview and then it's just out there, right? I have a lot of interviews out there and they slowly churn on YouTube. And all of a sudden, 5 years later, an interview that I've done has 7,000 views.
Right.
And that's 8,000 views. And then all of a sudden, you get to a point and then it goes from 100,000 to a million. Because it go from 100,000 to a million isn't that hard.
No, it's once it's noticed, once it's in the algorithm in the right spot, it's like in the real world when you have enough money that your money is making you money. Like when your money is making you money, you're all set. You just got to get there, and then you don't have to worry about it because it takes care of itself pretty much.
It does, but
so I hear anyway.
It's funny, right? And like I said, money never takes care of itself. You always got to watch your money, but you always got to watch your money. But I digress. I'm not here to give financial advice. Every time I do, I get yelled at by people, and then I'm told that I'm wrong on what I do. Then I do the exact thing that I'm told that I'm wrong on, and then I do well with it. So go figure.
There you go. Just you try to help people. Just keep it to yourself. Make the money, and someday when you land in your helicopter in their backyard and you say, hey, the thing I told you about? I was right. See ya. Hop back in the copter and off you go. Back to your yacht.
Nah, I don't even want a yacht. I legitimately just want to watch Sunday football in peace. It's very simple. It's very simple. Just want to watch Sunday football and a nice.
I said you want a hot Sunday. I'm like a hot fudge Sunday?
No. I just want to watch Sunday football. I want to watch Monday night football, Thursday night, maybe catch a game on Saturday. And just not be bothered You open up a
Don't worry
beer.
about it. Yep, I've already done all the math to figure out exactly how much I would need to have so that I just would not have I could just kind of coast.
I
I get
actually
it
know,
all figured.
I know that number
I'm
too.
nowhere near it, but it's there. I know what the number is. So
The actual number to technically be okay is 5 million in America. 5 million for those who don't know economically. So there's actually a lot of numbers in America. 250,000 reduces your divorce rate from 50% down to 25%. So automatically you go from half of a 50% shot of being divorced down to 25%, which is a huge gain at $250,000 net worth. Then at 5 million, at 5% or 6%, that's $350,000 that your money is making you. If you can't live comfortably on $350,000 in America, you have a bigger problem.
yeah,
So the perfect number is 5 million.
that's
Once
about
you
where my number when I did all the calculations is. You're very, very close to it right there.
once you get to 5 million and you put your money in a very conservative investment position, like getting 5-6%, and it's not that hard to get 6% at $5 million. It's very easy to get it. It's hard to you can live off the interest, and if you can't live comfortably at 350,000, there's something wrong with you.
So you know what? This is officially what we're going to do. We get this Kickstarter to 5 million. And I'm going to come and we are going to sit down every football night and watch football. I will pay for the ESPN package so you have all the games.
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great.
We'll do a screen with each game.
Just parlay all of them on $1.
Yep.
You just pick the ones and you just throw $1 on it, and that probably take a plus 9,000. Just watch, because it'll hit 1 week. It will hit 1 week, and it will pay for every loss, and then some. It'll be great.
There you go. We got a plan. We got a plan.
But my point is that I find it so interesting going back to this whole thing of figuring out what to do on Kickstarter and how to do it and even breaking even, because again, I mean, I don't know. I just eat the cost on this podcast. This podcast isn't ultra expensive, and I just eat the cost on it because it's just easier just to eat the cost on it.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I will figure out sponsorships, but it's also just a changing world, and I'm fine with that because I'd rather eat the cost and just do it my way and not have to worry about it. But I find it so interesting with the whole realm of what's going on with board games. And this brings me to my other thing is that obviously there's a lot of competition right now in this space.
There's a lot of competition everywhere. I mean, podcasts, there are a lot of podcasts. There are a lot of games. We live in a world, it goes hand in hand with the digital. Like, everything can be digital now. You can have files for anything, you can self-publish. You don't need to find an agent.
Let me ask you this because, and I get shit for this, but I think it's a fair argument. Right now, Kickstarter has eliminated gatekeeping. I think it's a mistake with that to some degree, meaning that if you want to produce a comic book or a board game, you can do it. You can throw it out on Kickstarter. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Doesn't mean you're going to make money, but you can legally do it. Where 20 years ago, it was a lot harder. But because it was a lot harder 20 years ago, and this is why I get shit for it, because I sound anti-creative and I sound like I want to encourage gatekeeping. But 20 years ago, a game would actually have to go through some serious testing, some serious thought process. It would have to go through a financial check. It would have to go through a viability check. And now, because, and it applies for everything, right? Now, nothing has to go through a viability check. I mean, I know way less about board games and comics, but look at podcasts. I know 7 people who came on my show. We spoke. They started a podcast. They did 8 episodes. They left. Then they came back 6 months later, tried to do another 8, left. Then they came back 6 months later, and they're now on their 5th reiteration. And because there's no gatekeeping, there's no viability check.
Right.
On this. And it's the same thing with everything. So I don't know how you feel about that, because again, I don't want to gatekeep and say you can't do something, but I also feel like there's a lot of
Well,
crap that comes out.
there's a lot of crap, but there are diamonds out there. Like you'll still at a convention. I'll be walking by some table, and somebody that's new or first time I've ever seen them, and like I'll stop my tracks like if something catches my eye the right way, and I think there's so much variety. People's opinions are so varied. You have to find what connects with what you do, basically.
It's interesting you bring that up because I don't know. Are you an anime fan by any chance?
I haven't watched much in a long time. I
I'll
if you
throw it a
talk about
different.
'90s anime, I've probably seen all of it. But
I'll throw something a different way, right? It used to be that if you were a comic fan, you needed to follow a certain amount of comics. And you needed to follow the core, and then you got to deviate from the core. Now there is no core.
right, I mean, you
Meaning,
can watch a couple of movies and feel as comic booky as
so
somebody who's read them for 40 years. Yeah,
there was something like I forget what it was, but like during 2005, there was like the Batman and the Superman, and you needed to read both of those, and it needed to be on your pull list, right? At least one of them needed to be on your pull list. Now you could be reading, Evil Ernie, you could be reading Vampirella, and you could be reading something from that's obscure in DC, and there is no core, and that's the problem. That's what's happened with anime. Is that it used to be you needed to be a DBZ guy, a Naruto guy, a Bleach guy, a
yep.
One Piece guy. You need to watch Full Metal Alchemist. You need to watch a Gundam, like Gundam 00. You needed to know Afro Samurai. You needed to. There was a few others. Now
Yep.
you could be. People are watching things, and it's like great. Like they've never watched an episode of Naruto, and I'm
Right.
like,
it's like everything right now.
It cheapens the core because once that happens, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but now nobody has any semblance of Main Street. And when we
Right.
lose Main Street, everything deviates, right?
I'm going to quote a classic Gilbert and Sullivan line.
Oh, I know
If everybody's somebody, then nobody is anybody. And there you go. That sums it up right there. Everybody's somebody, so nobody's anybody.
And so like this is but like this is why I'm curious what you think because and I don't think in board games it doesn't help when you got the big guys doing Avatar: Last Airbender or they're doing something else or they're doing South Park or they're doing Beavis and Butthead, right? When all of those things happen by the big guys, I don't think that helps either to some degree with this because now you have 4 or 500,000 campaigns and those games aren't good either. So I'm just curious what you think on all that because
So I mean there's so much out there and a lot of it is cash grab. A lot of it is just cash grab. I personally pride myself on I have a personal I feel like my games are almost like a self-portrait. Like I have a personal connection to them. I took what I loved from my childhood, basically. When I created my RPG, I took bits and pieces of what I remembered that I loved from all kinds of different games I used to play when I was a kid, and it kind of like it formed a new thing, but it embraced what I remember I loved about these kind of things. And the miniature game is doing the same thing. I used to use marbles and use the carpet so that it wouldn't roll around, and I'd have armies of marbles, like the dark marbles with the rainbow swirls would be this army, and the transparent ones would be this army. And I'd be like, all right, so the big balls are like they're tanks, And I used to like lay these things out across my bedroom floor when I was a kid. And now I have a game that does that so easily and it's so intuitive, and I can bring my friends in and they understand these rules and they can play it too. And it hit the right strides for me of the simplicity where you can just have fun. You can do ridiculous crap and be like, you're doing what? Like, wait, you can do that? I'm like, yeah, I'm so doing it. It's that kind of a thing. It's nostalgic and social, and it touches a lot of like bases for me, basically. You get to hang out with people and have a grand old time and do ridiculous stuff. Like you got people laughing till their drinks come out of their nose playing this game. It's that kind of a thing. Like it's fun. It's just fun, and I don't think there's enough of that in the world right now. I think there's so many people that are like you talked about how everyone's trying to write a comic that's going to be like it's gonna win the award for most dramatic.
Everybody wants to win a Ringo Award. So it's just there's people that I don't like in comics.
Yeah.
But I give props where their book, they don't pretend that their book is trying to win an award. Their book is trying to, sell copies and have a good time, right? I mean,
I make the same argument with Star Wars fans when they get all belly hurt about the Disney movies and stuff. I'm like, you do know that you are like emotionally connected to what was a farce originally about space wizards. Like calm down. It's supposed to be fun. And people forget that these things were made just to be entertaining and fun. Like games are designed to be entertaining and fun. Comics, you got people with special powers wearing brightly colored tights, like battling each other. It's supposed to be for fun. Like relax.
Again. I mean, look.
And with people that run conventions and stuff, they get so. Some of them I know get so angry and like you're basically building a building for people to come in and play. Like if you can't find the fun in that, then go get out of the way and let someone else to do it. Come on. Sorry, we're getting to a passion of mine, which is like people embrace so much negativity and bellyache about this and that and the other thing, and it's like, gosh darn, guys, like you're just wasting your own time being miserable. Like find something you love to do and just do it, And that's what I do. That's why I make these games. That's why I do the comics. That's why I do the illustration work I do. I do it because I love it, and it makes me happy. And if it makes other people happy, it makes me even happier.
No, again,
if it makes me enough money that I don't have to do the stuff that I don't like doing, then perfect.
Again. There's a reason why. I've turned down certain sponsorships, and I'm not going to mention who. It's been 2 or 3 people, and I just didn't want them as a sponsor. And I've said this before, with a sponsor, it's my rules, my show. I'm going to interview whoever I want, whenever I want to interview them.
Yep.
I don't really care because it's not your show, it's mine. And if I want to interview somebody, and look, somebody said to me, and the person was upset that I interviewed somebody. And my response to that person was, look, I'm going to interview people you like. I'm going to interview people you don't like. You're going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry. It's nothing against you, but that's just the way it is. Because when I interview people, it's because I want to interview them. Like I've gotten in the last probably 3 months about 10 requests. I haven't taken any of them because I don't want to interview those people. It's not that they're bad people. It's just that they don't interest me. And that's how I feel. And I have no problem stating it because it's my show. And the best interviews that I do, I mean, there's one interview where legitimately nothing got accomplished during that whole interview. And it was great. It was a blast. And it was a trippy blast. And it's a trippy interview. And like nothing got accomplished in that interview. It's just fun. It's a fun, crazy, great interview. So, that's how I feel. So, but again, I agree. But my problem is everybody's trying to win a Ringo Award. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Just sell me a goddamn book, everybody. That's what you should be doing. You should be entertaining me from my stressful life. That's hard. And it's not my fault. It's not my fault that New York does not have good teams. It's not my fault. It's terrible. It's not my fault.
Hey, I'm up here in Boston, and don't even talk to me about football right now, okay?
What do you mean? They did good.
They did actually good. They did take but yeah, I'm a fair weather fan of sports. Like when they start winning, I start watching, and then they lose, and I'm like, I can't watch anymore.
Drake May is okay as a football player. He's okay. He people say, oh, like 5 years later, they get a legend quarterback. He's not a legend quarterback yet. He's still being very much, tested, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, he's very green.
But he's a solid quarterback, and he's better than Caleb Williams. So there you go.
Yeah,
He's
we'll see
not
how he does.
he's not better than Jaden Daniels though. That guy is great. But let's be realistic here. I mean, in reality, Josh Allen should have smoked them, and the Bills should have smoked them.
Yep, they did.
That was an upset, and that's not going to happen again. It's very much like the Chiefs should have smoked the Jags, and the Chargers should have smoked the Commanders. It was not a fun Sunday.
Oh, come on. I like it when the underdogs win. I usually go in, unless I am invested in a certain team. Like I'm like, which one's supposed to lose? Go get them. Yeah.
It was an off-colored Sunday, for lack of a better word.
It's my kind of a Sunday.
It was whatever. It's any given
Sunday.
Just any given Sunday, anything could happen. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, look, as I would not count out the Giants tomorrow night so quickly against the Eagles. I would not count them out. I think the Eagles are going to win, but I would not count out the Giants so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots won against the Bills, so anything's possible. So,
I mean, the Commanders won against the Chargers, and the Chiefs lost to the Jaguars.
Yep.
That was an upset.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. World's upside down.
Yes. So I agree, but obviously, I mean, you got a lot of other stuff going on too. But obviously, I mean, we touched upon it, but where do you think board games are going? And tabletop games are going, because we're in a weird spot right now, because I don't really know what's going to happen with printing. I don't know if America and stateside is ready to really print big tabletop games. And I don't even know if all these licenses are complicated. I mean, we got a bunch of companies buying a bunch of other companies, and we don't know who holds the license. I mean, SpongeBob SquarePants is owned by Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon owns Avatar, and Paramount is just merged with Skydance, and they're interested in buying Warner Bros. Discovery. So we're in a weird spot right now.
They've been doing that for decades. Like, so many companies are just owned by other companies. Like, really, like there's 2 entertainment companies right now, Universal and Disney. And every company that's producing large scale stuff right now is owned by one or the other in some fashion, whether it's one of their companies, then
I think there's about 6 in reality, right?
But a lot of them are kind of owned by it's where the money is, right?
TKO owns WWE and UFC, and WWE is a big toy maker. They're a huge toy maker. But they do a lot of business with Mattel. Paramount owns Nickelodeon, so anything Nickelodeon is done by Paramount.
Yeah,
which is crazy. And then I think South Park has a claim on Paramount, or Paramount has.
South Park's independent. Paramount just paid them a lot of money to get them. So
I don't even think they got them. I think they just got the library for 5 years.
Yes, that's what. But that's why I meant that they are independent, and they spent $1.5 billion, was it, in order to have their library for 5 years. That's pretty good for 2 guys that I saw their stuff when they started, when they were cutting cardboard and construction paper and doing animation festivals with it. Those guys, they figured out their stuff. They found their niche. And they still own all of it, which is like the really incredible part of it.
They own a majority of it. I think there's stuff that they don't own. So like the COVID special was exclusive for Paramount.
Right. But as far as the actual
it's crazy.
Goes, they own it, and it hasn't been bought out from them by anybody, which is kudos to them for that.
It's just they sold the licensing essentially.
Right.
Which is the way to do it. You still own it, but you don't own necessarily the distribution, but you're getting paid a lot of money for it, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
But I mean I'm just curious where you think it's all going, because I think it's so complicated right now.
I think thanks to the internet and the fact that everything can be on a pedestal now. Everything can be on a pedestal now. Like it's more of trying to find your own voice trying to find something unique and that resonates. It's just a different battle. Before, the battle was trying to get published. You create something and you have to submit it to an agent. Like you were talking about before, all the hurdles you have to jump through to get published. Now you can immediately publish, but that's not how you win. Now you win by being
So let me ask this
found
then.
by the people out there, which is a whole different thing.
So because I've seen this, right, where I mean, I like Shark Tank, and I think this is really relevant, is that some people have their social media nailed down.
Yes, and I am
I
not one of those people, and it's
I'm a
very
mixture. I'm a mixture, right? So I have created shorts on YouTube. I know what shorts are going to do what, right? So I
Mhm.
put out a short that featured Fallout. I knew this short was going to be successful on YouTube. It was successful on TikTok. It's successful on Instagram because it's Fallout, right? It's
Yep.
not hard to figure that out. I put out something of Justin Hampton, who does music posters, and he did something working with Lemmy from Motorhead. So I knew that thing was going to be successful because people love Motorhead.
Yep.
And you hashtag Motorhead, hashtag music, hashtag rock and roll, hashtag Lemmy, you're going to get views on that thing. And it's a nice little 45, 50-second clip. And it was like, oh, that's really cool, man, right? But like, I'll put something up of like, coming up with a concept, or like Mike Barron, talking about Badger and like our Nexus, nothing on it, right?
Mhm.
But I want to put those clips up too, but again, if I had 50 Fallout clips, this issue would be a lot solved faster, right? But like, I don't have 50 of those clips, but like, I know some people have social media nailed, but I've
Yes.
also seen people, I mean, I hate to throw my friends under the bus. I'm not going to name who it is, but she has a podcast, and it's a cosplay podcast, and she gets like 25,000 views on Instagram. Doesn't translate over to YouTube, which means she doesn't have her social media nailed down.
Right.
Her Instagram views are high, but it doesn't translate over. And her views are, I mean, they're like double what I'm doing on this show, which is really bad. Given that you have 600,000
Yeah.
on Instagram,
You got to find a way
and
to get them over there. You need to do something where, well, if you like this, you have to go there to see more.
it's not connecting, meaning that people are on her platform viewing it.
Right.
But the translation and the commitment is not there, and that's what I'm figuring out. And so I'm not, because that's what I think comics are becoming and board games are becoming, is that who has that it's almost a social media war, and the creation itself isn't great.
It's everything is in social media wars right now. It's like you want to find you want somebody to take, if they took my game and somebody made some sort of trending TikTok video with my game would take off like crazy because every TikTok person would be running their hands on it to do the same thing. It's a and I am horrible at social media. I want to just sit down and play the game, but I want it, to support itself. So I'm always like struggling. I need a social media person. I need somebody that wants to be like the Faye social media person.
So I hate creating content. It is the most painful thing.
I'm sorry. I'm here making torture for you.
No. I hate creating. I like interviewing, right? So live interviewing and live streaming is the easiest thing on the planet, right? It's when you cut up and you take those micro pieces of content. You got to tag, you got to build the thumbnail, because it's not that it's torturous. It just takes forever to do. And this is the problem that I have, is that it just takes forever to do, and it kills my soul in certain ways.
It takes the fun out of it for you.
I mean, I enjoy parts of it, but it's just tedious, right? Because you have to plan it so well, and there's a reason why I haven't done it this year, because I'm actually building up the library so that when I start doing it next year, I'm gonna have like legitimately 270 days planned out, so I don't have to, so I can actually see how it looks, because I use data and a bunch of other stuff. But it is tedious and it takes fucking time. It just takes time.
Yep.
And also, I did that for a few years, and there's clips that now have 26,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 views. And the problem, though, is that it took 3, 4, 5 years for that to hit. So it's not an instant return.
Yeah.
But I'm in it for the long game. And so that's the whole thing. So I don't really care what content does today. I care what it does over 10 years.
That's how I am with my games. Like if I can get my game into your living room and maybe it sits on the shelf for 3 or 4 years, but someday you sit down and you start playing it and you like it, like that's like I do a lot of events where I'm like, if I can sell one copy of my game and it goes home with somebody and they like the game, then I've won. Like even if I have to eat the cost of the table and stuff like that, it's like I'm just planting the seeds. I want people to discover how fun it can be just to play it. You know what I mean?
Do you feel that you just getting it into somebody's hands, them paying for it and bringing it home, it is just the start? Because whether they play, they don't play it, you made the sale, and at least because you led them. You can't force a horse to drink, right?
Right. Yep.
But you could bring it to the watering hole.
So yeah. So what I'm seeing happening, not so much with the board game yet, Fate Courts, because it's brand new. But with the other games, I'll start going places and I'll start talking to them like, hey, have you heard? Like they're looking at the table and I'm like, would you like me to talk to you about the game? I'm like, oh no, I play this. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm the creator. Welcome to the table. If you'd like anything autographed, let me, like it's awesome when that happens because like it just shows that those seeds I was planting, like somebody they knew bought the book somewhere and they happened to sit down one day, crack it open and they're playing it. Like they're spending time with this on their own somewhere, and those are the seeds I'm planting. And if this game is just a hobby that supports itself for the rest of my life, then so be it. And if it takes off well enough that I can stop my my day job and just enjoy this, then so be it. If I just switch off the day job when I get older and I retire just with games, that's great too. It's going to do what it's going to do, and all I can do is give it everything I can to make it.
I get it. I get it. Again, I'm different where I'm happy just staying in my lane. As a podcaster, I have no desire to create comics, no desire to create board games. Not really my cup of tea.
No, and honestly, like an interview podcast is not really like I wouldn't want to do one of those myself. I like coming on them and chit chatting with different people, but like trying to find guests and scheduling it and stuff like that just
it's hell. It's hell. I've been through
it's hell. Oh my god,
no,
you're losing a star now. I'm sorry.
no, because it's changed. It's changed so much.
Everything is constantly changing. Yeah.
What it has gone is that it used to be so this is the parameter. When I first started, people needed content and they were thrilled to come on, and it was awesome, right? And people were just more accessible because it was brand new, like 10, 12 years ago. Yep. And then it just started to become more and more mainstream. And then even during COVID, people wanted to come on. They were thrilled, and like you couldn't book enough people fast enough, right?
Well, because nobody was talking to anybody anymore. So suddenly, like, I can go talk to somebody. Yes, please.
Then what happened is that people started to want to be paid, and people started to want to demand not like $10, but like $200, $300, $400 to be on a show to promote them. And they're like, I have 20,000.
Wait a minute.
So what would happen is that people would be like, I have 20,000 Instagram followers. And I'm like, that's great, but you want $100 to be paid so that we can talk about you. How does this make sense that I'm promoting you? And then a bunch of other people are like, yeah, I just want to come on, and like they have 100,000 Instagram followers, or they have and somebody else is, oh, I got 20,000.
So the influencers are coming from the other side now is what's happening.
They're cosplayers, they're voice actors, they're people in certain industries, but it was everybody. It's not comics, right? But it's like wrestlers, it's cosplayers.
Well, you know why? It's people whose faces you recognize. Like most of the time you do not know what the person looks like that makes the comic.
It's funny because this cosplayer who has 13,000 Instagram followers, she wants to be paid $100. But then another cosplayer who had 18,000 is like, I'll come on for free. So it's like
it's free. Yeah.
I'm looking at, and the response is that, I mean, I don't know. Do you know Chris Brown?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel about Chris. No, I love Chris Brown. But what Chris Brown basically said to me is that I'll pay you what you bring to the table. So if you bring me 1,000 views within the first week, you know what it is? I'll consider paying you $50 for it. But I mean, not 1,000 views, but like if you bring me 5,000 views, I'll
Mhm.
consider paying you what you're asking.
Yep.
But if you bring me 3, I mean, no offense, but I got to eat too. You're not bringing me content
Yep.
that is marketable at
Yep.
the moment. And this
So
this
it's kind of like there are some conventions that I get free tables at because they know that there are people that go to those conventions because I'm there. So they're like, I'm going to sell, 50 tickets because you're there. I'm giving you the freaking table to make sure you're there. I'm like, okay, thank you.
so like that's my whole thing is that I need I don't have a problem paying somebody if they're going to bring me something to the table and they're
Yeah.
going to allow me to eat, but you got to make it so that if you want $100 for an interview, I mean my response is saying, what viewership are you going to bring? Somebody said, is this a paid gig? I said, cool. Well, what's your follower count, and what are you asking for on that? And they never got back to me. I don't have a problem paying somebody for something. I have a problem because if you want to be paid $200 and you're going to bring me 5 views, fuck that.
Right. Right. At
It,
least being upfront, like, I mean, and you can always say no. So, and that's where it ends. You go, nope, and okay, we move on. You don't have to review, and I don't have to pay you hundreds of dollars. So we both
my philosophy is that I'm not paying guests. I'm just not.
Yep.
And it's not my policy. I hope
It's
you
the same
understand.
thing. My policy is like a lot of influencers. Like, if I wanted them to mention my game, I got to pay them a lot of money, and I'm like, no, I only want people that love my game to talk about my game. I don't want somebody who's just getting paid to talk about it because it loses all validity that way.
I agree. So I mean, but my opinion is that I'm not going to go pay for a guest anymore. I don't need to.
I fully agree with that. Yeah.
It's you're coming on my show. It's my house, and you want to be paid to be interviewed. Why do you like? I don't even get how somebody has the audacity to say that. It kills my soul. It just kills my soul. But and you know what is? Plenty of people are happy to come on for free. And you know what is? If that means that I don't get the big superstars, so be it. I'll just grind it out. And superstars, I mean, Jackie Gleason, I think, said it best. You got to remember that the toes you step on are connected to the asses that you're gonna have to kiss on the way back down. So the toes you step on to climb to the way up, you're gonna have to, kiss on the way back down.
Yep.
So, but I digress. It's not very monster-esque.
That's okay. You say it like this: the toes you eat on the way up. There you go.
Yeah, they told you on the way up.
Funny thing, we actually have a running gag in our Faye campaign. They made jerky out of a guy called Gary. Beef jerky out of him. And so they hashtag don't forget to eat your Gary, and it's grown. And we actually have a beef jerky company that's making Gary beef jerky specifically because of the campaign.
That's great.
It was the guy they killed named Gary owned a gas station.
What you should do is that you should have a coupon for like 10% off for that company right inside all the packages that go out.
Yeah, get your Gary. Don't forget to get your Gary
With the QR code. Like that's exactly what should happen. Is that
yep,
just throw a QR code in there.
They're experimenting with flavors right now. We're trying to get the Gary flavor right,
Oh, that's great. But obviously we've been speaking about a lot of stuff. I think we covered the whole game.
We've been all over the place. I think we solved the world's problems tonight, actually.
Oh, we didn't solve anything. I mean,
okay.
Nothing's ever solved. It's just procrastinated. But then again, things are only going to get worse. So it's all right. So whatever problem we solve today will be worse tomorrow.
You know what?
but-
If the world is getting worse around you, it's time to sit down and just play a game. Be a monster. Let out your aggression by eating your friends. There you go.
that's one way how to deal with your problems, because especially if your friends are being difficult. If you eat your friends that are being difficult.
Who have the best laughs out there? Monsters and villains, don't they? Come on, they're the happiest guys out there. Hannibal Lecter, he had the best smile.
Yeah.
The Joker, come on, iconic smile.
I'm gonna go watch that movie. It's free on YouTube. Batman Beyond, The Joker Returns. Great movie. But I digress. We've been speaking about a lot of stuff. I do want to give you a chance to promote yourself.
Sure.
Obviously, I think we covered a lot of things.
Yep.
But where can people find you, bother you, hit you up, disturb you, all that fun stuff?
Sure. So obviously, we're gonna have a link pop up for the Kickstarter, or do I just?
Oh, it's already in the description.
I don't see it up. Is it up there? Oh yeah, there it is.
I'm a professional. It's in the description, everybody. So you can click that right there, copy paste it, go to the Kickstarter.
I'll send you to the Kickstarter. Kickstarter's up till the 30th. We just passed the 2/3 mark in the first week. So I got 3 more weeks to get there, and I know the next 2 weeks are going to be so painful because the middle weeks in the Kickstarter are the dead weeks. I am going to be releasing something new for the game every week. Something that you can possibly add to your collection if you're already into the game. But please come check it out. There's you can watch a full playthrough. There's a video right through the Kickstarter. You can watch an entire game so you can see how it flows. The guy who I'm playing in that video, this is his first time playing, and he still beat me. But that's because I experiment. I don't strategize so much as I try things out. So like I tend to get myself in trouble. Like I'm like, oh, I'm winning, so now I'm going to do something stupid because I want to see if it will work. And like, nope, that didn't work. Now I'm getting eaten. But so the Kickstarter's up till the 30th. Please check it out. Otherwise, as you see my name on the screen here, my last name is spelled 3 vowels in a row. That is correct. But you can go on to Facebook or Instagram, type in Jay Mooers as you see it there, and I will pop up. Those are the social media places where I tend to respond faster to any inquiries and such. So send me a shout out through either Facebook or Instagram is the best way. I have an X account. I maybe log on to it maybe once a month. So it's not the best way to reach me. Any further, I have websites for my RPG and all that stuff as well. But the easiest way to get to those would be to just give me an instant messenger shout out or an Instagram shout out, and I'll happily send you the links. Come check them out. There's also every Tuesday on Twitch on the Gaming Compound. I'm sorry, the Compound Gaming and Miniature Network. On Twitch every Tuesday we do a live stream of Faye. That's where you can learn the hashtag don't forget to eat your Gary, along with a couple other ones. Which sometimes get very inappropriate, but it's a good time. The fun thing about the Twitch stream is you can actually spend your Twitch. I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch, but you earn points while you're watching Twitch, and you can spend them on things like re-rolls, auto successes, auto fails, director's choices. You can basically completely mess up what the game's doing by spending the points. So you get to interact with the game. Like you don't like somebody out there, you can be like, well, I want them to auto fail. So you spend some of your points, and they get notification that they're automatically going to fail their next roll. It's good stuff, good fun stuff like that. But that's every Tuesday on Twitch. Other than that, again, if you want to know the link for that, give me a shout out. I will happily share it. But again, one last time, Kickstarter is up and running. You got 3 more weeks to get on board, and then the game will probably not surface officially retail-wise until February. So come check it out. Coming soon to a hobby shop near you.
And then I'm just going to keep saying it, is that you got to support things that you want to see on Kickstarter or in hobby shops or wherever else, or websites that you want to see. So if you like a game and you want to see it get made and get produced, obviously you got to support it, and pledging helps in that regard, or waiting for it on a pre-order or however you want to get it. Completely up to you. So that's that right there. And then as far as I'm concerned, obviously I am Pop Anime Comics on Twitter /X. I'm pretty active talking about sports there. Typically, saying what a great play or what a bad play, depending on the Sunday, how it's going. I do shoot out a lot of stuff though on Instagram, so I'm becoming more and more active there. Facebook, Pop Anime Comics, a lot of stuff's up there. YouTube, Pop Anime Comics. I release a lot of content right now. I'm releasing a lot of shorts, and come January, a lot of content is being released. And so if you subscribe on YouTube, it's free. I don't have any membership or anything behind the scenes. Not really my cup of tea at the moment. But I will tell you this, is that I got 1,900 videos, a lot of interviews, a lot more are coming out there. And best way how not to miss something is there. And then my YouTube community page is just a blast. A lot of fun stuff right now. We're doing a lot of Halloween stuff, a lot of fun stuff. It's always good. Every day I'm shooting out a lot of images, and it's good times. So that's where you want to be with me. TikTok also, Pop Anime Comics. And then finally, I have Look for Comics and Collectibles. Come shop with us on Pop Anime Comics Collectibles. And I sell a lot of books like this in my store. So this is a spot foil of Burissa, very Halloween oriented. I got cards like this in my store, some John Cena. Last year he's wrestling, retirement coming. I got this as well. My Hero Academia, Mount Olympus stuff. I do carry cards like this in my store, this in my store, this in my store. I do carry stuff like this in my store. This is limited to 5 leather edition. Very cool card. And then every once in a while I carry some original art sketch cards like this. So I do carry a lot of cool stuff in my store, and just a variety of other stuff as well. So you name it, I probably carry it. And if I don't carry it, ask me. There's a good chance I might have it. And if I don't have it, I know somebody who does. So again, you type in Pop Anime Comics, you're going to find me. You're going to find me on the internet. And if you're looking for comics, you're looking for eBay stuff, or you just want to watch all my interviews, it's so easy to find me. So that's everything I got going on. And on that note, I'm going to give you the final word.
Final word is, I think you earned your cookie, my friend. Congratulations.
I don't think I could have said that any better myself, everybody. And that is a